For a great cup of joe, there's one thing you should know. Your morning brew can also be playful. Buff Boy Brewing guys make the temperature rise, and you surely feel naughty when you swallow our coffee. If you want some real heat, give your mouth a fine treat. You will want some more, rest assured. Buff Boy Brewing, you can't get enough of.
It's time for The Scribble, your weekly fix of celebrity chats, bizarre stories in the news, and basic random chatter with best-selling author and syndicated radio host Jeremy Bradley. Make sure your seat is in the upright and locked position and your barf bag is securely in place. Here's Jeremy Bradley.
Thank you very much, Larson. Jeremy Bradley here. This is The Scribble. Thanks for tuning in today. This is week 11, episode 11 already of this whole podcast thing. 30 minutes of fun is coming your way. I say that it's fun, but there's no guarantee. There's no money-back guarantee when you downloaded this free off iTunes, okay? But here's the interesting thing. So the 10 weeks that we were doing this previously, celebrity guest after celebrity guest after celebrity guest, and you know what? Today, no celebrity guest. I figure we're 11 weeks in now. Now is the time to tell you a little bit more about myself. If you haven't heard me on the radio or seen my newspaper columns or followed me on Twitter, my name is Jeremy Bradley. This is The Scribble, and we're going to use this next 30 minutes to get to know each other, or get to know me a little bit more anyway. Because really, there's one thing that I can't stand about watching game shows. I can't stand when they waste time getting to know the contestants. Honestly, do you ever DVR them? I record some game shows, like classics, like Match Game or Hollywood Squares, whatever it is, and when they start to talk to the guests, the contestants, I don't care. I fast forward. I just want to see the game. I want to see you win or lose. Now, when it was something like Deal or No Deal, you remember that? That was the craze several years ago, where you had, the cocky, the people. They just seemed so fake. I wanted them to lose. They were so arrogant, right? But when it's on like The Price is Right or something innocent and fun like that, you're rooting for the contestants to win. But I also don't care about their history. I don't care that they're from Michigan, they're a mother of two, they're, whatever. I don't. That's the whole selfish world that we're in now these days, I guess, maybe thanks to social media and all the other fun stuff. So anyway, we're going to use this time to get to know me a little bit better, and I hope to know you a little bit more. You can follow me on Twitter, or follow the show, The Scribble Show on Twitter, at The Scribble Show, and then you can also follow me on Twitter at SF Celebwatch. That's at SF for Speak Free Celebwatch. So we're going to have some fun today. I'm going to tell you some stories about my life, just different observations that I've made, and hopefully you'll bear with me for the next, 28 minutes or so. So let's get to the Scribble Dribble.
Scribble Dribble brought to you by SpeakFreeWithJB.com.
Thank you.
Check out syndicated newspaper columnist Jeremy Bradley's rants and raves in his weekly news and entertainment columns.
Yeah.
That's at SpeakFreeWithJB.com. Since he's paid to not shut up, God knows why. Once again, Jeremy Bradley.
Thank you very much, Larson. I should explain what I meant by that whole game show thing, is that you're only on there for a few seconds, right? We don't care. There's no emotional investment that we as the viewer have, because there's another contestant right after you, right after you, right after you. So for here, I want to have a great relationship with you. You know what? I've been doing radio for 9 years. My syndicated radio show, Top of the Charts, celebrated 9 years on the air just a couple weeks ago, actually, in mid-April. And part of the whole reason that I think that show is successful is because I've given the audience what they want. They wanted contests. They wanted prizes. We got some really great prizes every Christmas. They wanted celebrity guests. We have really great celebrity interviews on the show week after week. Then they wanted red carpet coverage. So you know what? We gave them The Voice, America's Got Talent. We covered those finales on the red carpets. So for this podcast, I would love to hear from you. Would love to hear your thoughts, but I also want you to get to know me a little bit more. On the music shows, I get about 2 minutes to kind of talk, then we jump into more music because, it's a music show. You're there for the music. You're there partially for the host. But for this podcast, I want you to tune in because you like me and you like what I have to say. And normally I should explain, because I only talk for like 2 minutes straight on the radio, this whole concept right now is totally different for me. 30 minutes. I can do it, don't get me wrong, but 30 minutes of straight talking and being entertaining at the same time, it's kind of a tough thing. So this is my first shot at it. Bear with me. I'm going to give it a go. And I have to tell you, around me, even in the radio studio, we have like food and drinks, and I don't know, this looks like it could be 7-Up. But I'm not just a regular 7-Up drinker, so I'm wondering what else is in this. And it's fizzing, so let me just have a sip. It is not just 7-Up. Okay. So thanks for tuning in. Thanks for giving us a listen. This is 11 weeks now on the podcast, so I hope you've been enjoying it. Now, one of the things I mentioned reality shows is there's this whole thing in broadcasting about saying starts now, right? You've seen Ryan Seacrest do it. You've seen Carson Daly. It's The Voice, and it starts now. Do we ever hear them say, it starts in 49 seconds. It starts in 17 seconds. No, of course it starts right now. You see that at the end of the credits as well, right? The announcer will come on. An all-new da-da-da-da starts now. Well, of course it does. Really? You're not going to say starts in 2 weeks from Thursday. I guess they might. They do on commercials. But anyway, and we do it on my radio show too, so I'm nitpicking basically myself as well. Don't tell me that I don't do it. I do it. I know I do. It's just something critical. It's one of those things that you just don't understand, right? We end up doing it, we hear it all the time, but for me now it's becoming annoying. You know, last weekend, at the beginning of May, William and Kate had their second child, right? The little baby girl joins Prince George. You know, it's a lovely family, and I could probably get in trouble because I'm Canadian and the royals are supposed to be very prestigious to us, but William and Kate are a hot couple, don't you think? I mean, when you want to talk like sexy, they're the first good-looking kids. I mean, George, a cutie. And don't even, I don't like kids, so don't get me wrong, but seriously, they have a really, really adorable family. Now, of course, there's Kate, who's essentially treated like a Kardashian, has hair and makeup people on call 24/7. When she stepped out of that hospital, you've seen those pictures, you've seen the video, she did not look like she had just given birth, seriously, hours earlier. I don't know, she had it, 8:30 in the morning, and then she stepped out, 6-7 hours later. Didn't look tired. I mean, there was a picture that I saw, and I'm not trying to crap on her parade. There was a picture that I saw. It was sort of close up where I was like, she kind of looks tired, But at the end of the day, she just pushed out a kid. I'm a guy, so I can't really relate or understand that. But come on, seriously. Now, I like I said, I don't really care for kids. I have 4 nephews and a niece. And a couple weeks ago, my brother had sent me a text, asked what I was doing on Saturday night. And like any other weekend, I was doing nothing. I was cuddling a bottle of wine. Actually, no, I had to write. I was doing some writing. I was working, actually. And my brother lives not too far away from me. And so he asked me if I could come by and watch the house for the night. To me, that's a very strange question, because if you're just going out for the evening, why do you need your house watched just for the evening? If you're going away for a week, that's one thing, so it seemed suspect to me. So I wrote back, I texted him, and I just said, yeah, I guess I could. Like, what do you want? Well, the kids will already be in bed when you get here. Aha! Your roundabout way of asking me to babysit for you. Now, it's nothing to do with the nephews. Like, don't get me wrong. I'm not saying anything about the kids in particular. I just don't care for kids. So I've never babysat for anybody ever. Dog sit, yes. I do love animals, so that's not a problem. But for children, I just don't know how to talk to them. I really don't. I can't relate. Even as a kid, I got along better with adults. I didn't get along better with peers, kids my own age. So for me to have to go and watch some kids on a Saturday night, when I was already drinking because I had started to write, and when I write certain newspaper columns or different things, I have a drink or two. Not to say that I was drunk. So my brother's like, well, I can come and pick you up. That's fine. So I take a vodka drink that I had mixed with me, and we get to his house. And as we're walking up the sidewalk, I see that the kids are not in bed. The kids are watching TV. The hockey playoffs actually were on, and their favorite team was playing. And so I thought this was a trap. The kids are not asleep yet, and if their favorite team is watching, do you really think they're going to go to bed without a fuss? Sure enough, they did. That's fine. It wasn't a big deal. But yeah, that was my first attempt at babysitting. So what I did was I texted a bunch of people, and I said, I'm doing something I never thought I would ever do. Guess what I'm doing right now? And I listed a couple things. They were all really outrageous, things that I wouldn't do, and almost everybody replied back and said, you're babysitting your nephews. So I was house sitting, I call it. Other people were calling it babysitting. Either way, that was my first experience with children on the loose. Which brings us into Baltimore. The Baltimore mom, you've seen the video on CNN, everybody's talked with her, Oprah apparently gave her a thumbs up. The Baltimore mom who basically just beat the hell out of her kid when she saw him on TV rioting with everybody else. Now people were applauding mom, saying, that's a good parent, that's the way to do it. Good on her. Awesome. Keep your kid in line. I looked at it from a different point of view. I wrote a newspaper column about it. Now, I've been a newspaper columnist for 10 years. I went from the other side of the coin here. We are seeing a mom physically abusing her son live on television. So, did she raise her kid in a household where violence was considered acceptable? Can we blame the mom for her son's Baltimorean antics, was what I was asking in the newspaper column. Of course, we put it out there, we tweeted it, we did all these, good promotion of it, and some people were not really receptive to my point of view. Some people were saying that, you know what, it was about time that a mom did something like that to show that she means business and not to mess around. Whereas some people sort of called me out and said, you know what, you're way out of line. Now, I'm actually just, as I'm talking, I'm just scrolling the page here to find some of those comments that we have from Facebook, where it's like I was singled out, where people just didn't agree with me. And I thought, well, that's kind of weird, because we always hear about how kids grow up, you are what you were raised as, right? So if you're raised in an abusive or violent home, you're going to do that. How can we fault this kid then, if that's what he knows and that's what he grew up with? So somebody wrote here, I've been waiting for some media group to say something against the mother for her actions. You're presuming that she is a violently aggressive parent. I never presumed that. How can you not presume that? She's showing the world that she is. The woman continues, I saw a mother who caught her son doing something totally against the way she raised him and stepping up to take care of it. And in all caps, I would have done the same thing. And I would not have given it a second thought. Some parents are scared to do the things that need to be done because someone will stick their nose in and question their judgment. If you can't do it, then step out of the way and let the cops do it later when he has gotten himself into so much trouble it will cost money or his life. Children need to be taught not to give in to peer pressure, not follow the crowd because it is easier. Having good character takes strength, and it gets strength to build good character. I understand everybody's point of view. That's one thing. Here's another one. When you fear the death of your child, sometimes the most extreme action is the most powerful. Somebody else wrote, at least she cared enough to do what she did, though. I applaud her. If that was my son doing that, I probably would have whooped his ass, too, whether the world was watching or not. So again, we look at this violent and aggressive society where people have no problem having guns in their homes. We see 3-year-olds shooting and killing their 2-year-old sibling, or whatever the story is. Here comes Rambo mom out here beating the hell out of her son for being violent. So there's just such a contradiction in that. So I would love to hear your thoughts. Feel free to tweet me on that, or you can also follow along on Facebook. Facebook.com/speakfreemedia is the page that we have on there. Facebook.com/speakfreemedia. You can go to the scribbleshow.com website, and we can link you through on there. Thescribbleshow.com. I would love to hear your thoughts about this Baltimore mom. She's getting praised by everybody, but at the same time, you're reprimanding violence with violence. I don't get it. Now, not that we're going to get political and really hardcore on this show, but certainly that was something in the news. When we're talking about kids and parenting, that was a story that I had put out there a week ago, and had a very interesting reaction from people. Now, on the subject of family, Bruce Jenner sat down with Diane Sawyer. Now, this is a couple weeks ago, talking about his sex change, right? He's becoming a woman. First off, I have to say, I think I had the most sarcastic jokes on Twitter that night. Just saying. So on Twitter, at SFCelebWatch, people were following along. And then I was being called out by people saying that it's too soon, oh, you're insincere. But at the very beginning of the interview, and this is how I knew it was fair game, Bruce said to Diane, you have to keep a sense of humor about this. So he did make some jokes himself. He made some comments. Certainly not the kind of jokes that I was making, like, so it seems that Kris Jenner was the top in the relationship. Bruce Jenner is just having a sex change now so he can date black men like the rest of the Kardashians. I knew that if you hung out with the Kardashians enough, you would turn gay. I never thought you would turn to be a woman. So certainly things like that. They were all in good fun. I think that Bruce is very courageous, and I'll go on the record right now and say that. Bruce is doing something that a lot of people were either scared to do in the past or, never thought that they had a public platform to do so. So yes, he's lending his voice. He's being courageous. He's telling his story. That is great. But the interesting thing about this, though, is that it's his kids, the Kardashians or even the Jenner kids, who are saying to him, don't do this reality show because you're going to get caught up and it's going to sort of discredit you. The sensationalism of it all is going to tarnish what you've really built up in your credibility. This coming from the family that signs $40 million deals to be on reality and exploit their lives. Interesting. Now, the fun fact about this is TMZ is reporting that Jenner's own kids, so these are the actual Jenner kids, not the Kardashian kids, who insisted on being part of the Diane Sawyer interview, are now saying they're not going to appear on Bruce Jenner's docuseries that's airing this summer on E! So they're proud of their dad. They're stepping up. They have no problem with his sex change. They're a little bit awkward. They're weirded out by a little bit. But again, your dad is changing his gender, essentially. So I think most people might be a little bit uncertain about how to feel or the way to react to it. But they have no problem appearing on the trashy Kardashian shows and getting paid for that. But their own dad, who they allegedly back and support, they're apparently not going to be on that show. So Bruce, as TMZ is reporting, is going to show the light side of things about learning to golf now with his new breasts and things like that too. So I think it'll be interesting. I don't know that the docuseries is going to be such a great platform for people to have awareness. I think it's going to turn into entertainment because that's what you need to do on a reality show like that. But is it going to get carried away? That's yet to be seen, right? If this is the same production company that is doing the Kardashian shows, that at times are scripted, I should point out, in case you didn't know, there's a script to those Keeping Up with the Kardashian shows. Bruce Jenner's might get carried away and taken out of hand, but that's the nature of the biz, right? That is the nature of the biz. When you get into something like that, you want people to watch. If it's just regular and we're just following step by step, not interesting. Got to have the comedic. You got to have the drama. You've got to have the crazy bits that are going to make you sit there and go, I can't wait for after the commercial break to see what's going to happen next. Which leads us into a commercial break here on the Scribble. I'm mumbling. It's this 7-Up that's sitting beside me. We're going to have more on the Scribble right after this.
Are you tired of commuting to a job that makes someone else rich? Working harder than ever, but getting nowhere? Do you hate spending hundreds of dollars every week on daycare? Having someone else raise your children? With our opportunities, you can start earning money as soon as next week. You get to be the boss, work from home, and live a happier life. At Be the Boss Network, you'll find hundreds of work-from-home opportunities that you can literally start today and be earning money as soon as next week. Go to freedom41.com and start earning money as soon as next week. You get to be the boss. Get out of the rat race. Work from home. Go to freedom41.com right now and change your life today. That's freedom, the number 41.com. Go to freedom41.com and start earning money as soon as next week. You be the boss. Go to freedom41.com.
Scribble Dribble brought to you by SpeakFreeWithJB.com.
Thank you.
Check out syndicated newspaper columnist Jeremy Bradley's rants and raves in his weekly news and entertainment columns.
Yay.
That's at SpeakFreeWithJB.com. Since he's paid to not shut up, God knows why. Once again, Jeremy Bradley.
Thank you very much, Larson. I don't know why we call it because it rhymes. Scribble dribble. I get it now. It just makes it sound like am I dribbling? I had to look down there for a second. As you just heard, SpeakFreeWithJB.com is where my newspaper columns are posted. SpeakFreeWithJB.com. And now I guess, well, it's not really an infamous point of view, but certainly there are a few people, and I mentioned a couple of those Facebook comments that were on there. One person did say that I want to shake your hand, things like that. So I wasn't completely singled out as being off the wall, but certainly when you look at society, most people said, no, that was right for that woman to smack it around. Again, the point that I had in the newspaper column is, so what if the kid was 4 or 5 years old? We'd be freaking out if we saw that happening. So does age, does experience, does, all that kind of stuff come into play? So I was just having, during that break, a chicken finger, the worst chicken fingers I've ever had. They brought in a plate for me. I get fed when I do the radio shows. We've got candy, we've got little snacks to nibble on. Cheese and crackers is my favorite today. It was a chicken fingers. I have to recall a memory that I had the other day at a fast food restaurant. I won't name the place, but it was lunchtime. I was the only one there. I was the only customer at this fast food place. I don't remember the day of the week, but either way. And it was during lunchtime. So I thought that's kind of sketchy as well, right? There's nobody in here. It's a well-known chain, don't get me wrong. Very, very famous chain. Inside the restaurant, though, a little bit dirty. Maybe that's what it was. Anyway, I'm the only one there. And then all of a sudden, the person behind the counter calls out the number of my order. Order 1012, it's order 1012. I'm like, I'm the only one. It's just me here. Why are you doing this? Nobody is eating here. You should be, know me by my first name then at this point. You had that much time because there's nobody here. Now, there was a drive-thru. I don't know how busy it was. Nevertheless, I'm the only one. You could even bring it over to me if you want to be that nice to me, right? No, instead you're going to call out the number and have me come up there and get it. So I thought that was just kind of funny. It's the politics of eating at a fast food restaurant, right? Now, one thing, though, at restaurants, the fine dining establishments that you go to, it's interesting because, cell phones are out on the table. We can never leave them. They're always attached to our hand for the most part. But a restaurant is a tricky deal. Now, I wrote a book. It was released last fall. It's called Put Down Your Damn Phone Already. Put Down Your Damn Phone Already. You can check it out on Amazon and iTunes. If you're listening to this on iTunes, click over there and get the book called Put Down Your Damn Phone Already. Now, there's a chapter in there about restaurants and how there's this whole debate. It's very, very, again, it's political because you're going to dinner with somebody. Let's say that it's a first date. Let's even say it's your husband or your wife, your spouse, your partner. I make the joke now that it's dinner for two, but a table for four. Because each person is going to have a cell phone that's probably going to be plopped on the table. Now, yes, there are some restaurants that have implemented this rule that if you leave your phone with us, we will either give you a discount or we'll give you something free. That's one thing. Many people very hesitant or reluctant to part with their phone for even just the hour. But then there's that whole thing about people now having the rule that if I'm out for dinner, the phone is not out. The phone is not on the table beside me, which is great. But it just kills people because you'll have it on vibrate, though. Even though you don't have it out on the table, your phone is still on vibrate so that you know that you've missed a call or a text or an email or a Facebook update or whatever it is. So then there's this whole game of how long do I wait before I go to the washroom to excuse myself so I can go and check my phone? You know about this. You have done this. Don't lie to me. I'm not believing it. I'm going to call BS on you. But if you're the one who's left behind at the table, you're kind of watching to see when the person is out of view, right? Until they hang the corner and go to the bathroom, that it's now the coast is clear that I can look at my own cell phone, right? You know what I'm talking about. You've done this. And so you kind of, you whip out your phone. Some people even still will have it on their lap or on their thigh as they're sitting. Will make it, they'll look down at the menu as though they're reading the menu, but really they're looking at their phone, right? You've done this. And so then there's the person who's in the bathroom now who goes into a stall and is texting or whatever it is. Might not even be sitting on the toilet. Might just be standing there, making it look like they're going to the bathroom because people are coming in, right? And they want to look down and see that there's feet in the stall so they can't use it. And then there's the person back at the table who's feverishly, texting, oh, this date is going crappy, and oh, somebody rescue me, somebody save me. And probably the person in the bathroom is doing the exact same thing. So it's very interesting, the etiquette now that has come with cell phones at restaurants. Because, again, it's not uncommon. And people use the excuse when you go for like a business lunch or whatever that everybody's got their phones out and it's, it's this big thing. But just let it go. Where is that Disney song? I want to hear Let It Go. Just let go of your phone for a few minutes. Enjoy the company of the person that you're with. I was at a restaurant by myself, as always. It was a buffet. And the mom and the son were at the table across from me. And normally you'd think that it would be the teenage kid who would just be frantically on his phone, right? He'd be constantly on the phone, not paying attention to mom. This was the exact opposite. The kid was sitting there just almost like dying for mom's attention. He really was. He was talking about this science project that he was doing. He was talking about just everything related to school. And he did not have a phone. It was mom who sat there the entire time playing on her phone, seemingly ignoring her son during lunch. And then when it was time to eat, she also was one-handing the phone, right? So either scrolling or typing or whatever she was doing with the phone in her left hand and shoveling the food in her mouth with the other. Now again, don't get me wrong. If I go for lunch by myself, chances are I might have the phone out so that I can do some work. My phone, though, I must admit, I don't download apps. I do email or web surfing. There's no social media apps or shortcuts on my phone at all. My phone is for email, phone calls, and web surfing. So yes, if I'm by myself, I will have my phone out. I will be scrolling. I will be typing. I will be doing whatever. But you're there with your son. I'm waiting for the day, though, that he gets hooked on a cell phone, and then, he's at restaurant or wherever with mom, and he's not paying attention to her, and she starts to get on his case about, not listening to me. What did I just say? Blah, 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 blah. And he can flip that around and go, you know what, mom? Remember when we were at da-da-da-da-da place, and I was talking about my science project, and you weren't paying attention? Well, piss on you, mom. And then he's going to go riot. She's going to smack him around. Oh, no, wait, now we're mixing stories. But anyway, so there's lots of observations and funny things like that in the book. It's called Put Down Your Damn Phone Already. Put down your damn phone already. Would love to hear your thoughts on that if you check it out, because I think, when I've done book signings and when I've talked with people, I say the book is going to appeal to two people. One, if you're the person who can't put down your phone, if you're the one who just can't, your hand is probably cramped up. Even when you don't have the phone in your hand, it feels like you're holding the phone, right? So there's those people who are admittedly addicted to their cell phones and laugh about it and can't put it down. And then there's the other side of the spectrum, the other side of the coin. If it's the people who look at those who are addicted and just go, you're addicted, you've got a problem, put down your damn phone already. So certainly it's a great gift. Not that I'm one to toot my own horn, but it is a good gift for people. I had to laugh because I was speaking at an engagement where it was elderly women, and we were talking about the book that I had written about saving money and being a cheapskate. And so I had this book out there as well, Put Down Your Damn Phone Already. And I wasn't sure how the audience would respond to it. But I started talking about it because then I realized that, wait a second, these women, and it was a group of women, these women have grandkids who are probably just like that, right? The teenage grandkids who can't get enough of their phone or their apps or whatever it is. So, believe it or not, that book, Put Down Your Damn Phone Already, sold out more than the one that I was actually there speaking about, because they were able to relate to it, right? They got it so that they could give it to their grandson. I don't know that the grandma would be reading it, but maybe she would. You never know. It was a book still that people could hold in their hand and flip the pages. So yes, grandmas do like that. But certainly, definitely a book that people can relate to, given today's society and the obsession with cell phones. My mom is a teacher, and she was telling me that at the school concerts now, you can't call them Christmas concerts, right? They're a winter concert or winter festival, that all you see now is these sticks. It's almost like you're looking for underneath, like the Muppets, where they've got those sticks and they're moving the hand. All you see is selfie sticks in the crowd. So if you're behind a crowd of people who have their selfie sticks up, you can't see. You'd think those people would be at the back, but you wouldn't need the selfie stick because you can just stand and record the whole thing. So selfie sticks, there's really no mention about selfie sticks in the book. I should have put something like that, because it seems like in South America and over in Asia, these selfie sticks are really popular. But I don't get it, because you should almost want to be cropping out the stick part. Because to me, it looks like you're holding out like a handlebar or something. Crop that out. That's the point of it. It shouldn't look like you've got this thing that's like balancing on. Get rid of the stick part of it. Don't show us the handle, because then it just loses that sense of flashiness. Not that a selfie stick is anything flashy, but seriously, just put down your damn selfie stick already. SpeakFreeBooks.com. You can check out the book, SpeakFreeBooks.com. We're back in just a moment.
Ever had something to get off your chest but never had the balls to say it? That's a load of crap. SpeakFreeWithJB.com is exactly what you've been waiting for. Your chance to tell it like it is and not care what anybody else thinks. Have your say on issues of the day. Join newspaper and radio columnist Jeremy Bradley as he tells it like it is. Hundreds of thousands of people have stopped by, including some well-known celebrities who have had a chat with JB and speak candidly about what's really going on in the world. You can join them too. Have a rant or a rave. Be brave and head on over to www.speakfreewithjb.com now. Are you tired of commuting to a job that makes someone else rich, working harder than ever, but getting nowhere? Do you hate spending hundreds of dollars every week on daycare, having someone else raise your children? With our opportunities, you can start earning money as soon as next week. You get to be the boss, work from home, and live a happier life. At Be the Boss Network, you'll find hundreds of work-from-home opportunities that you can literally start today and be earning money as soon as next week. Go to freedom41.com and start earning money as soon as next week. You get to be the boss. Get out of the rat race. Work from home. Go to freedom41.com right now and change your life today. That's freedom41.com. Go to freedom41.com and start earning money as soon as next week. You be the boss. Go to freedom41.com.
We hear you chirping. Get scribbling. Tweet up the Scribble at The Scribble Show. Join the discussion with Jeremy Bradley. It's all going down right now on Twitter at The Scribble Show and at thescribbleshow.com.
Jeremy Bradley here, back on The Scribble. As you just heard Larson say, follow us on Twitter. Love to hear from you at The Scribble Show. And you can also go to our website, thescribbleshow.com. Thank you so much for giving us a listen today. I have to say it's been really fun opening up and sharing my stories with you, and I do hope that you are entertained by them. And I think we're going to do it again next week. 30 minutes of just me rambling, and then if our ratings start to tank, we're going to bring back the celebrity guests. No, we've got plenty of celebrity guests in the weeks to come. I'm not even going to name drop right now. You're just going to have to stay tuned and listen. So more celebrity guests joining us in 2 weeks, but I hope you stick around for more Scribble Dribble and my rambling rants. My name is Jeremy Bradley. This is The Scribble. Feel free to give me a shout anytime. It's always awesome hearing from you. At SFCelebWatch is my own Twitter, at SFCelebWatch, or at The Scribble Show on Twitter. Talk to you next time. Bye-bye, everybody.
Want more Scribble? Check out thescribbleshow.com for past shows, celebrity interviews, cheapskate tips, and more. That's at thescribbleshow.com and on Twitter at The Scribble Show. The Scribble is a speak-free media presentation.
If you want some real heat,